Today is July 7th, 2021. It's been a very, very dry summer so far. We've got a little bit of a rain. It was a month ago, I think, nearly anyway, and it's very dry. I've been very concerned about the honey flow. It certainly didn't start early, but it is here. As you can see in the back in the hayfield, there's not a lot flowering there, but if you were to go back there, you would see a bit of clover, etc. The bees generally head south. This is south from here, and they are bringing in honey now. So I've been worried and complaining about no honey flow, and now I'm behind, such as beekeeping goes sometimes. What I'm doing here today, I just have a few. Again, these singles here, these singles, there's other singles here. They are requeened colonies. They came out of winter not very strong, and I've requeened those, so they're building up now. I'm monitoring those for honey production. I don't want them to plug out. I want them to get nice and strong for winter. But there's a few doubles here, and I was checking some of these yesterday, and they're quite full. They're more full than they should be. I'm probably losing some production because they're too full. So I need to get some supers on these. And one of the things I'm going to show particularly today is I had someone asking me about this procedure. In general, I run singles. Okay, so I'll run singles through the honey flow, through winter, into spring, and then into May and through June, my colonies will grow into doubles. So I'll let the queens lay right up into a double 20 frame, double deep brood chamber. And then at the early, beginning of honey flow or early in the honey flow, then I will shake those bees down. I will move the queen down from, point. From the upper box, I'll make sure the queen is in the bottom. Now, I can sit there and search 20 frames for the queen, and that's time consuming and a little frustrating. And you can probably assume that she's not likely in that top box because it's right full of honey right now. However, it's pretty easy to shake all the bees off of those frames into the bottom, put the queen excluder on there, put that box back on the top. The second thing it buys you is that now there's honey above that queen excluder. They just come up through there like it wasn't even there. And then I can add empties on top of that. I generally run deeps. You'll see me placing some mediums here today. I don't have very many. I'm going to fill those up, get them drawn out, and I'll probably get rid of them. I don't need mediums. They're just kind of an annoyance here. So that's what I'm going to do. So again, I had somebody asking me about that process and having a difficult time kind of formulating that process in their mind. A very new beekeeper. So I'll just show that here today for someone that may be having a hard time picturing that whole process. I'm going to start with, I like to start with 4 empty boxes, and I'll show you why I start with 4 empty boxes, and then I go through it from there. So I'll move the camera a little closer and show you how I'm doing all that. Okay, you can see the blue box here, one of my empty boxes, and there's 3 more there. Okay, I'm just going to tip the camera up so you won't see that blue box as much. This is a good use for those old crappy boxes you might have. I'm a firm believer in having a good stack of old crappy boxes that you can use for different purposes. But one of these boxes needs to be a good box. These are all good boxes, so I don't need to bother which one is which. I've been working gloveless and I like it, but today I'm doing the gloves. 2 problems with gloveless is this jacket is kind of weird. There's no elastic on the on the cuff here, so The bees tend to crawl up my arm. I've been stung in the arm a number of times with this jacket. The only nice thing about this jacket is the zippers work. Other than that, I'm not a fan. Not a fan at all. Ultra Breeze. Ultra Breeze is the jacket. Get one of those. It's an investment, but it's worth it. Just that I've had trouble with my zippers, and they're currently broken. So that's a problem. Put the hood up. There's not even elastic around the bottom. And I don't think it's wore out. There just isn't one. Okay, so we got a double here. As you'll see, it's right full of honey. They're starting to cap it even. So I'm behind. You look at this kind of thing, and you're late. So I'm just taking a quick look, make sure the queen is not here. If she's not, then I don't need to disturb them. I can just set that aside. So I mean, look at this. This is pretty crazy. I'll take this. I need to take this box off. As you can imagine, a deep of honey is going to be very heavy, and it's going to be stuck down. And they hate this part. You twist it like that. They usually sting me in the legs. So at this point, if you want to do a quick, queen check, brood inspection sort of thing, this is the time. And because honey flow is here, we're going to be putting lots of boxes on. And we don't want to be having to take those boxes off just to see if we have a queen or something like that. So let's do that. Let's just take a quick look. Oh, the other reason I want to wear gloves today is I want to work a little faster. I've got a lot of these to do. I've got about 40 of these to do today. Okay. This is my story frame. So this will tell me everything. I think I see, so it's laid up well with drones, you can see, but the worker cells actually have a bunch of eggs. So, and there's some capped brood here. I'm going to set that down for now and just check one or two more frames. See, these are pretty light. So all that honey is going upstairs. There's eggs and milk brood in there. That's fantastic. This is a 2020 overwintered queen. And they're a little jumpy. It's not cold, but it's not real warm. It's about maybe 20 C. The sun is very hot though. Okay, if I happen to see the queen right here, this is going to make my job a lot easier. I can assume with great likelihood that she is in the bottom box here. Because there's eggs, there's milk brood. That's full of honey. There's no reason for the queen to be upstairs. So I'm kind of hoping I see her, because that box is going to be a real handful to shake down. Okay, come on. Okay, I'm going to leave them alone now, because I want to demonstrate this for you anyway. Get these frames back over there. There's a lot of bees there. I should shake that off, I suppose. Get that in there. All right. Okay, so the first box you use is, I call a shaker box. Some people have a special gadget with a tub and whatnot, and that's great. But I just use a box. If I had a special tool for this, I'd never find it anyway. And I just use a box. The bees are really buzzing me. I don't want to do this because it's so full of honey. I shouldn't have left it so long. That's my fault. I'm sitting there crying about no honey flow, and the bees are just sitting in here saying, I'll show that guy. I'll show that guy honey flow. Look at this. Outside frame is more than half capped. You think there's honey flow? Okay, so just shake them off. Look at that. And place them in this box. So you can see two of these boxes really are just stands to keep the honey boxes up off the ground, not quite as far to bend over. If you want it even higher, then get a couple more boxes. That would actually be nice to have this box actually a bit higher. Yeah, kind of a fool for letting this go so long. So again, this is kind of for demonstration because I'm pretty sure the queen is not up in this box. But boy, it's a harvest time is a bad time to learn your queen's up in above the queen excluder. So I'm just putting them back exactly the way they came out. And there's a bit of brood here. So, you know, and there actually is some eggs here farther in. If I do see the queen, I always take a moment to watch for the queen. If I do see her, and most of my queens are marked, so it's a little easier to find, then I just get her in the bottom box, and I'm done. I'm done shaking. So there's a nice cap brood there. Nice cap brood there. Oh, these are some nice brood frames. So what happens is my honey flow is going to go another 6 to 7 weeks. And you remember your life cycle of a honeybee from egg lay to emergence is 3 weeks. So then within 3 weeks, all of these cells are going to be empty, and the bees will have backfilled them with honey. Oh, there's lots of brood up here. It's not quite as it's not as full of honey as I thought it was, but brood is gold too. I mean, look at that. That's gorgeous. Both sides. Just kind of keeping an eye for the queen. Often I'll find her on the second last or the last frame. It won't save me much work. See, that's all emerged, and they're backfilling that with honey now. When you shake, particularly early in the honey flow, if you're shaking these, you'll be shaking a lot of nectar down in there. Don't worry about that. It kind of is helpful because it it kind of gets all over the bees, and it kind of sticks them down and gives them something to do besides chase you. Okay, so that's heavy. That's 6 pounds of honey there. That's beautiful. Okay, so you can smoke these a bit down in there, and you'll notice them coming shooting out the front door when you do this. Usually, a good strong colony they will. Of course, this is a nice day. A lot of them are out foraging. That's awesome. Give this a quick up and wrap, just like that, because you do it slow. You lift it up, the bees go under it, and you'll crush more bees. I'm not going to pretend I don't crush any doing that. Queen excluder here. Try to get this on because the bees are just going to be coming out quickly. Man, those deeps are heavy. Okay, so my deep is on there, and I'm going to put 9 medium frames on that. Recently, I had a beekeeper, local beekeeper, saw a video he did on the merits and difficulties and downsides of using 10 frames, 9 frames, 8 frames, and he made some very good points in that video. However, I'm a person who tends to like 9 frames in Honey Super, and I have 10 in this one. I would normally take one out, except I'm setting mediums today, so I would have nowhere to put that. And I'm not doing, if I were doing 9 colonies here, then I would just space those out among the 9 colonies. But I don't. I only have six or 7 here. And I'm going to put 2 mediums on here. Take one out because I've got 10 frames in my... It's a little juggling every year for me because I don't have storage enough for all my boxes if I put 9 frames in the boxes. So when I extract, all the boxes go to 10 frames, so I end up with a ton of empty boxes, but fewer of them to go into the Secan. So that is the method to my madness. And by the way, that nice stainless spacer tool, I've used the plastic ones. I have the plastic ones. They work okay. That one, boy, that's worth the money. That cost me about $25 or something. Very nice. So we're all done. All the bees are in the bottom box. So the queen has got to be one of those bees. Queen excluder, honey, 2 empty mediums. Bob's your uncle. I'll just bang some bees off here. There we go. So I got what I would call my second Honey Super. There's a little more than a deep, but not much. 3 mediums is 2 deeps. So they're 2/3. So we have 4/3 here. 4/3 of a deep. We'll do another one. Okay. I hope this one looks as nice as that one. I set a propolis trap on this. I don't know if I'm using it right. I've never used these before. And they have been filling it with wax, not propolis. Bees can't spell, so they don't know the difference. Well, look at this. I've got a queen excluder right here. So my job is done. All I need is my seconds. Yeah, the dry landscape around here, I'm not really sure where they're getting the nectar, but it's surprising. We had a drought a couple years ago, and all the cattle farmers were in a really bad way because the hay didn't grow. They got one not great cut of hay. Put that back on. See what they do. And that says 19. That's a 2019 queen. It's supposed to be her last year, but she seems to be doing fine. Maybe I'll requeen her later on. All right, so on to the next ones. Okay, it's another overwintered 2020. So sometimes what I like to do, we're assuming that the queen is likely up in this box. That's why we're doing this. So I don't like taking the queen and just setting her out over the ground. I did that last time. That was not the best. Yeah. Propolis trap is more of a wax trap. So then I like to put that lid upside down in case I pull a frame and the queen falls off that frame. Then she'll fall in the lid, not on the ground. Holy smokes. Yeah, don't wait this long to do this. This is insane. Get our shaker box on there. I did a video on frame grabbers a while back. And this frame grabber here, it's got the wooden handles. It's got the spring. See how the spring is there? I've bought almost every style of frame grabber available, and that is the only one that continues to work for me. All the others fell apart. The springs fall out right away. It's terrible. So get this first frame out of here. Yeah, so that's the beauty of this frame grabber when you're working in a big old honey super. And again, just a scan for the queen. Look at that outside frame, and it's mostly capped. Put my other box down here. Just right full of drones. Oh, they're going to get trapped. If they're smart, they'll go down below the queen excluder. Well, they're going to be down there now, aren't they? If we didn't shake them down, the drones would all get trapped. I don't have an upper entrance. Yeah, I feel pretty stupid. I've been whining about no flow, and now these boxes are jam full. There's not a speck of room in them. There's some nice brood, though. Look at that. Beautiful brood frame. Let me know if you see the queen. I might not. Nice brood frame. Just like to look in that little cup. There's nothing in it. And again, a queen cup with nothing in it is nothing. You can get rid of it if you want. Don't get rid of it if you don't want. These cups are a little longer. more developed. No egg. There's an egg in that cup. Uh-oh. I think I better tip this one up before I leave. Let a hive get too congested like this, and they start to make travel plans. Okay, so that's shaken down. There wasn't any bees left in the last box, but this one there is, so I'll give this another wrap like that. Get rid of the bees. You can shake the lid at this time. It's not that important. It's going back on. So I want to tip this up. Honestly, I'll put this lid on it to tip it up. I'm not sure if I can tip it forward to get down on the ground. One downside of my insulation is hard to see the seam in the bottom of the box there, and it's also, there's no handle. But polystyrene's pretty strong, so I can lift on that usually. Okay, hopefully it doesn't slide off. A little bit of smoke just to get them to go up a bit. Okay, I'm not seeing anything nefarious in there. Good. I am in time for that. Now I've got a box of bees here. Smoking them up, smoking them down. Bees are, make up your mind. Come on, you gotta go down. That's a downside to these side by sides. I get bees on here. Have to deal with them there. Smoke that crap out of them. Get a queen excluder. Start coming back. One time, you know, you're gonna squash some bees. Just do it. Get them away the best you can. Do it. You're gonna squash fewer bees than waiting around. Okay. You think bees don't come through queen excluders? Well, they've got the top here already. My first year, I tried to use queen excluders, and I wasn't having success with them. But then I opened my eyes and ears and learned something. And I've had no trouble since. They work great. All right. Lid on. That one's done. Might as well do this one right here, I guess. I think you can see that. Sorta. Maybe I should have done it first. Maybe I'll move it the other way, and then you can see where the frames are going. And put that propless mat back on. Oh my goodness. Those frames get glued together, so you can spend a minute and just give them a tug with the J-hook. Just break it apart a little bit. Usually one side's enough, but you can do both sides. Okay. Yikes. Shaker box on there. Looks like a pretty healthy colony. It's a lot easier with this lifter. Beautiful brood frame. Oh, crappy old frame just busted on me. That's nice. Arg. Not what you want. Okay. We got it together enough, and it'll just be put in here real carefully. And hopefully it makes it until harvest time. And that'll undoubtedly fall apart in the honey house, and it'll go in the garbage from there. Brood, and there's quite a bit of pollen in that. You know, frames are not that scarce and expensive to put up with that kind of nonsense. There's a lot of drones. Wow, there's a lot of drones. So this one's not as full of honey as the others, but there's quite a bit still. They definitely need space. Beautiful, beautiful colony. There's some milk brood here. So she was laying up in here not long ago. And that's good. I say that's good. My impression of why that's good is the more brood I have in the second box over the queen excluder, bees will tend to move honey, and they'll clean out the honey, whatever honey's in the bottom, move it up in here as I add boxes. And the emerging brood, gives them more space over time, and also adds to the strength of the colony. So yeah, that's all nicely laid up too. It's beautiful. It's a good queen. She's doing a nice job. And the last frame. So you can see, if you're not talking, etc., you can do this pretty fast. I've seen guys smoke them down. I've seen guys use a leaf blower. Whatever works for you. So I'll give this get my queen excluder ready though. Get the bees out of the original box. There's quite a few. Give this a quick wrap. Queen excluder. And I'll get my honey supers. Okay, 2 more to go. Nice thing about a propolis trap is there's no bees on the lid. Interesting. Now this is full, but there's not a lot of bees up in here. Still gotta break them free though. I'm gonna die of lung cancer with that smoker. Okay, so that's not as heavy, but you know, I think it feels just fine. So I'm gonna put the frames over there. I don't really need my grabber. It's always nice, but you know, this one's not as crazy full. We've got that filled with nectar almost completely to the outside. So that's not a problem at all. That's some good work. You know, I like black foundation. I use black foundation exclusively when I make frames. But when I see a nice honey frame on that white foundation, that is nice. Here's something. I haven't put any honey in it yet. This is one of my foundationless frames. I've got wires through the comb. And on foundationless and honey super, they always build a large drone size cell for storing honey. Those work great. I put those right through my extractor. And actually, you know, I'll take that one out because there's nothing in it. And then I can get 9 frames in here. Some of these were foundation this year. And look, there's eggs. You can't see it, but there's eggs all in that. All in here. And the nectar on that side. So Queenie might be actively working in the top. Yeah. There's some eggs in there. Yeah, we'll be able to use 9 frames in this box. Yeah, my normal process, these mediums are kind of messing me up, and that's kind of why I want to get rid of them. My normal process is when I have a second box on here and I'm doing the shakedown, installing queen excluder, I'll bring 8 frames in the next box, and then one of the frames in this box will move up, so then I'll have 9 and 9. So I only use 8 additional frames there. But there's no rules, right? If I'm running any foundation in a box, then I'll always run 10 frames. Whether it's a box full of foundation or it's a box with 1 frame of foundation, I'll have 10 frames. This one's not a super monstrous hive, so they're pretty easy to work with. Okay, it's good. Space these out. So you just do that and give it a nice push. And that is perfect 9 frame spacing. Okay, so one more. And this one is not as far along either. Honestly, I don't know that they should get another box. It's nothing that far over. I'll shake them down. We'll go from there. Put that queen excluder on. Gee. Yeah. See, there's nothing in that one either, so yeah. So I'll leave them at 9 frames as well. There's some nectar on frame number 2, so that's promising. There's some eggs there. Just not very many though. Just a few sprinkled around. So you can tell she's showing interest in this second box. But she can do her work in the bottom box now. There's a couple eggs there too. And there's actually more eggs there, and they're hatching. So that's good. A little bit of brood, a little bit of cap brood there. Actually, that's laid up quite nicely all the way through there. Eggs and brood there. Nice. I'm surprised I haven't seen the queen. A little more laying there. She'll be on the last frame. Those crafty old queens. Okay. The bees out of the box. See, because that bees in that box, that could be the queen in there. We don't know. Get this. Oh, they're stinging me. We need some defense. I don't want them stinging. It's not what you're going after at all. Okay. Since that's 9 frames, space that as such. And I have one medium left I'm going to put on there. This is 10 frames. This is actually, these little foundationless frames make nice comb honey. I put a wedge on there to kind of keep them centered. It's not really required. You don't need to wax them. They will build. If you build it, they will. Well, it doesn't work, does it? Okay, so that's got just a medium and a deep. Okay, so that's about that for this yard. I've got a yard away that I need to do a bit more than 30 more today. I'm glad it's not a blistering hot day. I was doing this on the weekend and oh, it was hot. It was way over 30. So what more can I say? Hope you enjoyed that. Hope that was helpful. You try and explain that process and it's kind of, what are you doing? And I get that. But hopefully seeing it helps to cement that concept in a person's mind. So these are singles again until May. They're only doubles for 2 months or less. So they're singles again until May. So again, thanks for watching and stay safe and have fun.